All righty. So welcome everyone. First derby. Thoughts?
That was a close one.
Doesn't get any closer. I mean, it can be close if you have the same number of shots, but it was awfully close to the same number of shots. But yeah, it was a good tussle.
I think I'm the only Tiger here. Am I allowed to trash talk?
Go for it.
No, I'm good. I'd rather not die.
Well, you're all going out to dinner after training next week anyway, so we haven't decided where yet. So I'm open to suggestions. So if any of you have anywhere that's kind of localish, somewhere in Northlands maybe, or around there, or we could go down to Moondog, but somewhere with, sort of big trestle tables or something, that might not be a bad option. I don't know the area terribly well, but I'm sure some of you will. So we are absolutely open to suggestions. Anyone else apart from Sam with thoughts on the game? Did any of you look at the video snippets I put up on Facebook earlier?
A few mistakes made, but we're all new.
Of course, you expect to make mistakes. That's the whole point, and that's I try not to just highlight the mistakes, although there's a lot of them as you would expect. But every level of hockey, there's a gazillion mistakes that are made all the time by everyone involved: players, referees, coaches, scorers, timekeepers, you name it. We all make mistakes. We're all human. That's how we look at them. If we say, look, there's something that happened, try and work out why it happened and see if I can stop it happening again, then that means you improve, and that's really the point. So yeah, lots of mistakes, but were there good things?
Yeah, I think there's lots of improvement.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. In fact, I think, and I don't have the time to do it at the moment, but you guys would probably benefit from going back and watching the video. They're all on YouTube. You can get them all from Hockey Side as well. The links are there. Going back and looking at game one, your first game that you played, and then just looking at this game, and just look at the difference. It's already a massive improvement on how you guys were in game one, which is to be expected. You've kind of gotten used to the game now. We're now at the stage where we can start thinking a little bit more strategically rather than just get on the ice, skate around and get a change, which has really been the emphasis of the first few games. But that's working really well now. We're very pleased with how everyone's managing changes. We think that's excellent. Certainly for game four, it's really, really good. We did have some issues with last week's game though, didn't we? Anyone remember what happened with the Tigers last week? Who can count? Not the referees.
Too many on the ice.
That goal was scored with too many on the ice. Which if you were a Southern Light, you'd probably be a bit disappointed in. But the reality is, and this is a point that we all have to kind of suck up, and sometimes it goes in our favour and sometimes it doesn't, is that you just got to go with what the referees see. If the referee sees something and they call it, or they don't and they don't, that's ultimately what we all have to deal with, whether or not we're on the side that benefits from it or the side that doesn't benefit from it. So the next time we play a game and a call goes away we don't like, and maybe it gives away a goal, we've got to think back, well, yeah, was that time they basically gave us a game as well. So it all, in the balance of things, it all balances out over time. It's like weather and games, outdoor sports. Anyone here played outdoor sport much where like you change directions at halftime? I did a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
It sucks when the wind changes at halftime, doesn't it? Well, it's just nature, it does what it does. So from the point of view of us as like maturing as hockey players, or but just generally sports people in general, having the grace to understand that the calls that the referees make sometimes go against you, sometimes go with you. You just got to roll with it. This arguing about it will not make any difference at all. Okay, so what I was going to do is I've got all of those little snippets of video. There's quite a few of them. So we can go through all of them either in goal order or in order of penalty kills, because there was a few penalty kills that got done, which we can certainly learn from. Sometimes it worked well and other times it got a bit ragged. We can look at breakaways. The thing that we were trying to introduce on Sunday, I think it was. No, was it Saturday? Whichever day it was, anyway, whenever the game was. Can any of you remember the new thing that we introduced that we wanted to see if we could get working?
1, 2, 2, 4 check.
Yeah. Did we do it at all?
Once on our team.
Yeah, I think so. I watched the whole video trying to find good examples of it, and there was one, which is better than none. It's tricky though, isn't it? And I explained it to Tigers, and I'm sure that Denise would have explained it to Jokers as well in the briefing before the game. And you all would have probably been thinking, "Oh, yeah, that's pretty easy. That's like, what's the big deal? That's simple." Is it?
Depends how many people are listening, I guess.
Well, it's not even how many people are listening, and that's partially a coach's role. Coach has got to own the room and be able to communicate with all of you. You might notice sometimes if I think that I'm trying to explain something that you all need to hear and someone's distracted, I'll often wait until they're ready. We always try and make sure that we finish our briefing well before it's time for you guys to go out as well. So you can talk amongst yourselves and try and organise it too. This is essentially adult sport, not junior sport, although I know we've got some under 18s, but we kind of class you all as adults, all sort of 15 or over anyway. So we work on the assumption that you guys have the maturity to work most of it out for yourself once we've given you the basic outline of what we want or what we're trying to teach you anyway. And so that's why we let you have time before the game, where usually we'll leave. And as we get closer and closer to later starts to deeper into the season, we'll start doing that more and more. We'll actually talk to you less and less. And we're looking for leadership to come out of your groups and for you guys to build your own team culture. And that's a really important part of what we're trying to develop. We're not dictating everything you want to do. As you improve, we want you to own it. We'll give you plenty of guidance, and we've got a roadmap for what we want you to learn. But pretty much after about game 6 or game 7, we've given you all of the tools that you need. From then on, it's just a question of getting better at them. So we've introduced the 1-2-2 now. We've introduced the defensive zone face-off. Any thoughts on how that's going?
Thought it was pretty good on the weekend.
On the whole?
Yeah, on the whole, there's still a few position.
There's a lot of lost.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of lost, but there will be. And it's funny because, again, we explain it all before the game. We draw it up on whiteboards, and you've seen videos of it, and hopefully a significant percentage of you are either attending these or watching them afterwards. And you certainly have your group chats where you can talk about it as well. And we want you to do that. It's funny. It's so difficult under pressure to remember what you need to do, even though essentially it's really simple. Stand here, on the drop of the puck, go there, and that's it, right? It's not like you have to react to anything terribly. It's a structured play, and it's probably the easiest thing that you can do in hockey is do that, because you don't really have to react to anything apart from one person's arm moving, and that's a referee. But it's tricky to get right, isn't it? I'm going to show you some of the key things out of the game. I actually want to show you the first minute. So this is the first minute of the game. So some of the things that came out of this first minute was how quickly we're all getting changes, which is fantastic. We really wanted to see that, and that was working well. Ignore the scoreboard at this point, because the scorer still had the points and names up from the previous game, and they didn't quite get it finished in time. So don't worry about the scoreboard on this video. It is demonstrably incorrect. But let's have a look at the first minute of the game. And don't worry, you're not the Swayzes in the big deals. All right, I'm just going to pause it here just before we even drop the puck and have a look at our starting face-off setup. How does it look to you?
Wide and far.
It's a bit spread out, isn't it? Where we really want people to be and I'll kind of go through it position by position. So I think that might be you, John.
Yeah, that's my fat ass at the back there.
That's your, yeah, you want to be here. The other D
I'm
wants.
just afraid I'm not fast enough to get back if the puck moves.
Look, it's a valid point, absolutely. But if you are going to be back there, you want to be here, not over there. Think about why.
Covering the slot straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm on the outside and they get the puck, they can cut in and go straight to that high scoring area. And there's nothing I can do about it. I'm basically shepherding him in the direction that they want to go. Now, I don't know that. I want to own that space. If instead you're here, at least have to go around you. That's better. All right, so let's see what happens. The other thing is we've got our wingers sort of circulating up here. You really want to kind of turn this into a little bit of a contest. So get down close. Yeah. I'm not sure who that is. I can't tell with the number, but again, here, that's all right. Maybe just a little bit closer over, but that's basically okay. And what the centers here should be doing is they should be deciding where they want to put the puck. And we're going to go through some center stuff probably early next week. I'll actually have a separate Zoom session for those of you who play or want to play center. And we'll go through some more of the details of how center works. Doesn't mean anyone else can't as well, but it'll be mostly aimed at centers. So if I'm the Joker's center and I'm on my backhand, I'm probably going to put the puck there. If I win it on my backhand. So
I actually, that's me, Carl. I actually eyeballed the right winger before I took the face off.
Yep. And you wanted him back behind you?
I was just signaling to him that I'm going to be passing it to him.
Okay. You can do that. That would work. What it does do though is we pass it back to here. He's standing still. So once he gets it, what's he going to do with it? It's not a criticism. It's just something to think about. As an alternative to that, what you really want your wingers to be doing is if you get possession, you want them to be moving forwards. If it goes back to your D can then play it up the boards and that winger can pick it up on the move. It's a really, really successful move. You watch it in a lot of levels of hockey. It does rely on your D actually being able to do it. But at this stage, you've got to let them have a chance. If they muck it up, it's all right.
I'll see what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. Whereas if you pass to this winger, that winger's standing still, their pressure's coming straight on him. It's like, what do I do now? I've got the puck and straight away it's taken off me. So let's see what actually happens. I can't remember exactly. I remember it was interesting. And yeah, red D. So like the D's mostly out of position there. You do want them at least to be a bit closer together. If you're going to sit back a long way, you want to be owning that line to the net. You don't want to be over near the boards because that's not really going to do anything. Let's see what happens. Oh, you won the face-off. Nice. Straight to that winger and watch what happens. See that? It's obvious when you look at it, isn't it? It's like, oh, why did I do that? That was just silly. But that's what happens. So what do you do differently next time, Fred?
I'm going to shoot it back to the D's.
Yeah. Or there's another alternative. Another really good one, especially if the other D are sitting a long way back, which they are, you can actually put it in front of your winger. So I'll show you what I mean. We go back to this frame here, right? And it's a bit kind of hard to see. I'm going to use the lower screen here so you can kind of see what I mean instead. But if you put the puck there, right, their other D is way back here, right? So not a threat. Now your winger, where am I, can pick it up on the burst. And they've got momentum. And this other winger standing there going, what just happened? And you've created an opportunity from that. So if it's on your backhand, and obviously it is in that situation, if you can consistently put it in front of your winger, and when you look at your winger, you say, I'm putting it in front of you, or some other prearranged sort of idea, they will move early. So as soon as they see the referee twitch again, like the defensive zone face off, bang, they start moving. And bingo, you've created an opportunity. Because that's kind of what happens here, but the other way around, isn't it? Let's watch it again, see what happens. Right. So your winger's now got it, but he's standing flat footed. The other winger's on the move. It just comes straight through. And gets a high percentage shot, good scoring opportunity. So here's our chance for a 1-2-2 forecheck. What does it look like? Joker's wingers are in the perfect position there, just about. That's really good work. Where are all the Tigers forwards? No one? Just try and describe it to me. Where are all the Tigers forwards?
They're all deep in the
Yeah, aren't they?
defensive zone.
What does that mean? And what's the threat from that? We talk about risk analysis and our hockey is.
Well, if you can shoot the puck past them, you'll have a 2-on-2.
Yep, but they're all sitting deep, so there's no cover. If you think about hockey as you always want to have two players, and this is kind of where we come from with our underlying strategy. We always want to have two players between the puck carrier and the goal, not including the goalie. We can't do that here unless our D, we've got our D, but they're way back. They're not involved in the play. All three of the Tigers forwards are up there. There's no Tigers forward here in their high slot position, which is where ideally the center would be, but it doesn't really matter because we were talking about triangles. Remember, you have your 1, your 2, and your 3. And we do that really well on a couple of occasions, just not here. It's the start of the game and everyone's kind of a bit rattled. So this forward's not really doing anything useful. They're out of the play. And we've got 2 going in deep to put pressure on the puck carrier. If we were doing a 1-2-2 forecheck, and again, we don't expect you to get this yet, but this is an opportunity to start learning it. You would have 1 forward here, 1 forward here, and 1 forward here. And that's kind of the crux of the 1-2-2. And the 2D probably there and there. Roughly, depending on your confidence to move back and all that sort of stuff. And that would be a good 1-2-2 forecheck. The Joker's wingers are in perfect position. That's really nice. That's great work. Whoops, what just happened with my video? I wanted it to freeze. Hang on. So just watch the movement here of the wingers. I'm not sure exactly who that is for the Jokers. But see how they're both kind of moving across, which is good. This winger, again, not quite sure who it is, should have gone over to there. But again, we're learning. The other winger, I think it's Jacob, cross to the middle and then ready to go, which is perfect. Now what have we got?
Two on one.
Yeah. Well, really, at that point, a 2-on-none. What's happened here? And I think it's you, John.
Yeah, that mishandles me.
Yeah, it's not so much a mishandle. It's kind of like in a really bad spot. So they've both basically both gotten past you. It's just it's a judgment on when to be. And this kind
Came
of
to me. I had the opportunity to get it and hit and clear it, but
it happens. It's fine. Again, it's not a criticism. It's an opportunity to learn. But they now have a 2-on-1. Our other D, the Tigers D there, is doing exactly the right thing at that point, just holding that space. There's not much else they can do. Now, again, in the right spot. The Tigers' defense, I don't know if that's all kind of frozen up for you now or not. See if I can get it to behave itself. All right, Tigers' defense is pretty much spot on there. That's really good. And pretty sure that's golly, I've forgotten her name. How can I do that? I'm sorry. Skating in and doing the right thing as a center. And now we have a breakout going the other way. All right, so really interesting little like first 60 seconds of the game. A lot happened, didn't it? Like a lot to learn from. All right. I'm going to show you another a bit more about the 1-2-2 forecheck, just because I don't want to hammer onto it terribly much, but certainly to just kind of show you an instance of it in play. And this isn't from our game. This is from our team, not last season, but the season 4. We had the Moondogs green and the Moondogs blue. They were 2 different beers or whatever they were. I don't know. But I'll show you this one as well. And this is an example of how the 1-2-2 will work later on in the season once we've kind of learned it a bit more. All right, so in deep goes the puck. We're the green team, which is the Moondogs something. I don't know which one. Number 18 here. Watch what she does. See that? Let's just watch it again. What's she done?
Taking away the boards.
Yeah, not perfectly. And the Big Deal's defense there, to their credit, sees that and plays it up the boards anyway, which is good for them. Most defensive players at this level of the game would probably not do that, but to their credit, they did really well there and still played it up the boards. But we got good pressure on and forced that to happen, and mostly discouraged the use of the boards for the safe exit, because we now know, hopefully, because we've kind of repeated it enough times that it's starting to sink in. If you're under pressure, you play it up the boards because it's the safest option. It's less likely to go wrong. Did they have a proper 1-2-2 forecheck? No, because there was a change going on at the same time. But you could still see that one in the forecheck going in and taking away the boards, and that's what you want to do in that play if you can. And we'll be able to do that later on in the season. Now we did have one. I labelled it in here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. There's a Joker's one. I think this is the only one that I found. Doesn't mean there weren't any more, but this is the only one that I found. All right, in goes the puck. This is where we want to set up the 1-2-2 if we can. We've got 29 barreling in as the first forward in, 89, which I think is Sam.
Yeah, it's me.
And I think 9 is Ben.
I think it's Luke.
Oh, it might be Luke. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. Okay, so Sam's, you've recognised that, haven't you, Sam?
Yeah.
Good that you get. So you know what's going to happen, right?
Yep.
You cut across. Probably going a little bit too deep there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But look at what we have. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It forces the play, forced them to go around the outside, and disrupted the breakout. It's great. We didn't overcommit. We've only got one forward in deep. The other 2 forwards are still up pretty high. That's all right. Our D are in a position that they can see what's going on and manage it. Us being the jokers in this case. And to their credit too, the Tigers have done the right thing on the breakout. And then ice the puck, but that happens. Get out of the way, Mark. All right, so Sam, that was conscious, yeah?
Yep.
I believe it. But you can see how it works, right? So we did get one, and it's a good start. For game 4, getting 1-1-2-2 forecheck in a game, that's 2 thumbs up from me. That's really good. Alrighty, the fun stuff. Goals were scored. Let's have a look at them. Do you want to look at the goals first or the penalty kills?
I reckon go the goals.
We'll go the goals. All right. There's only 4 of them. It's not that bad. Let's have a look at Joker's first, I think. Who scored the first goal? It was the Tigers, wasn't it? Tigers got the first one. Let's have a look and see if we can't work out what happened. You wanted to dive then, didn't you, Sam?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm glad you didn't. What happened?
Luke had a cheeky little Meg.
He did, didn't he? All right. Just a little bit of puck mishandling there. I think Allison made the right decision there to go for the puck. Just mishandled it. And then we have a 1 on none. And this time, Luke actually put it on the net. And what happens when you put the puck on the net?
Tend to score.
Well, it's
Or you
much
get
more
an
likely
opportunity.
if you miss. If you don't put it on the net, it's almost definitely not going to score. I mean, you get a really lucky rebound, but it's pretty rare. Again, I think Allison did the right thing there, trying to get the puck, because it was hers to get. But it was just a little bit of a mishandle. Again, individual skill. We don't mind if individual skill work doesn't work out. That's fine. That's something you guys can work on in your own time. And then, how was the breakout though by the Jokers here? Let's have a look at it again. No, not sorry, sorry, the Tigers. So the Tigers are breaking it out, aren't they? Where should they all be in this situation? This is pretty much textbook, isn't it? The park is over here in the corner. Is that something we practice at our training sessions?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. That's why we do it. It's exactly a game scenario. So one of our D's gone back to get it. We've got enough players on the ice. Yes, we do. Winger, a little bit too deep. I'm not quite sure where the center is. I think that's Madison. They're not Madison. Sorry, Matheson there playing center, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that might be Dan. I'm not sure. Actually, Dan might be the one going to collect. Actually, never mind.
We should have a center here.
Yeah.
But at least we've got 1D back here. Don't go behind the net. There's no need to.
I didn't. Don't worry. I stopped myself. This is a very long turn.
All right. So at this situation, right, I know the screen's kind of blurring up, and I know how annoying it is. I think Luke's way out of position, but we really should have a center here, and the winger should be here, and Luke should be doing that. Right, that's our standard play. And once you worked out how to stop, you wanted to be here.
Yep.
How's your stopping practice going?
It's going well, actually. Yeah, I've gotten a lot better.
I can stop now on both feet.
Yeah, it feels good. No, I'm not going to crash is very handy.
Yeah, it's a big plus. Once you learn to stop, you can be so much more confident, because you can skate faster, because you can stop. If you can't stop, you're not going to skate flat knacker, because you're going to hurt yourself. I don't want to do that. It's silly. But once you can stop and you learn how to stop, then it massively increases your confidence. But let's see how the breakout goes. Right. There's Luke now doing the right thing, and away he goes. That quick burst up the middle creates the opportunity. Right. So it's that weak side winger creating that play, which in this case was Luke, and he did a pretty good job of finishing off. The next goal was scored by the Jokers. I'm fairly confident that it was Joker's goal 2. No, Joker's goal 1. Right, Joker's goal. Here it is. Let's have a look at this one. See if we can't see what happens. Now, bear in mind that we've been encouraging you guys to change at every opportunity. So this is not a criticism, this is a learning thing. And I think it was, oh, that wasn't Eloise, who does this. So just have a look, watch this. So you can see what happened, yeah?
Yeah.
Now,
It's more important than the puck.
well, it is, except, and with all things, there's an exception. So pretty much everything we tell you, there's always a yeah, but. And in that particular case, she's coming over to make the change, but the puck basically arrived in her feet. In that situation, play the puck up the ice. Didn't know, was committed to the change. It's okay, it's a learning thing. But instead, what it's done is it's let an odd player rush go through. We've got a 1-on-none, and I think that's Jacob. Jacob's got a pretty handy shot and is still forced out to a good angle. If you have a look at what's happening here, number 6, he's doing the right thing by skating down this middle lane and at least forcing it wide. So that's good. Like, it's a good attempt to fix what's gone wrong. But it's a pretty good shot over Cat's shoulder. No, sorry, over Blake's shoulder. Although I reckon if I was that goalie, I'd probably want that one back.
Blake was not happy about that one after the game.
I probably should have caught that. Yeah, you probably should. But, get a shot on the net. Sometimes they go in.
Bounced off his shoulder in as well.
Yeah, it happens.
Yep.
Won't be the first time and it won't be the last. Get shots on the net. Get shots on the net. Get shots on the net. And when you're at it, get shots on the net. They're the ones that go in. The ones that don't go on the net don't go in. Again, I'm repeating myself ad nauseum, but it's so true. And it's so hard to get your head in that place of, I'm just going to shoot. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to shoot the puck on the net. Be selfish. Try and score goals. We want you to. Okay, the next goal was scored by the Tigers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Grab that one. Let's have a look. What do you think?
Shot on net created the rebound.
Yeah, that's what it was. Just a rebound and a lucky rebound. But if you're in the right place to take advantage of lucky rebounds, they happen. About the only thing that could have happened differently, and I don't think anyone has the skill yet to do it, is you can see Allison's actually in a really good spot there, which just doesn't quite get onto the puck.
Wonderful.
So it kind of comes through. We'll just watch it again, see what happens. I'd see where Allison is there. She's right in the slot, which is a great place for her to be. But what we have done is we've now got 1, 2, 3 on 1.
What's the Coast DLC called?
So Luke's just sitting here, totally unmarked. All right. Wingers are doing pretty much the right thing. What we should probably have had in that situation is probably this one, going over there, developing that peripheral vision and that radar. So it's really probably the center's job to pick that up and say, oh, there's a loose player in the slot, and I should prevent them from being a scoring option. Because Luke will bury it. He's worked out how to do it now. Video, come on. But even there, you can see that Allison was just a bit unlucky. She couldn't quite get a stick on it. And then it just pops out. And Luke just uses a cheeky little backhand to shove it in the net. I love those goals. They're nice. When you get them yourself, it's like that was so easy. All I had to do was just tap it in. Right place, right time, low shot, rebound, defensive error of not picking up the player. That's what caused that one. And the last goal was Joker's goal 2, which I should be able to find. Where are you? There it is. For some reason, this hasn't done it in alphabetical order. It's very strange. Ooh. Sorry about that. Zoom just decided to die on me. That was nice of it. Let's have a look at it. It was a pretty good shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, decent.
Decent little chip over the shoulder. Pretty hard to stop that one. If we just look at the setup, let's look at the play that leads to it. So Joker's dumped the puck into the corner because a miss on the shot or it deflects or something or other. We've got D back for the Tigers, which is good. We've also got our centre coming back, which is also good. And we've got wingers in deep. We'll work on that. That's going to be an ongoing thing all season. So just kind of looking at this situation now, what have the Tigers done?
Both of our wingers have kind of collapsed on the puck.
Yeah. What are you doing down there? We should, I'm not quite sure who's left and who's right winger in this situation, but we should have a winger here and a winger here. Not way down in there. One of the reasons why that's a problem, and it's not just because we don't have an outlet, although that is critical, it also creates doubt in the minds of the defenders as to who should go and get the puck carrier. Right. So if these two weren't there, it would then be a lot more obvious, maybe not to start with, but a lot more obvious that you have to go here and put some pressure on. Okay? Because that's not what happens. And it's partially because of that confusion, because there's 5 bodies all milling around, plus, you know, the puck and that sort of stuff, and it's confusing. Right. So now there's no one putting any pressure on. All of our D are sitting back and waiting. So in this situation here, what should happen is this D should come forward to around about there. Center's in the right spot-ish. We've got to watch that one and we've got to watch that one. But this one with the puck, the D, or whoever's closest, but it will normally be the D, their job is to go and put pressure on them. Not to go below the goal line, but to put pressure on, maybe active stick, cutting off the passing lanes, that sort of thing. And just being in the way. For time. What actually happens is you sit back and wait for him to come to us. Now, at some point, you have to challenge. And the key is, when do you make the challenge on that player? And we haven't really spoken very much about what to do if someone's coming from behind the net or beside it. We've spoken a lot about when someone's coming down the ice, you challenge them at the hash marks. So the hash marks is these lines here on the face-off circles. It's a bit hard to see. The ice needs a repaint, but it's there, and you can see them on this side. They're called hash marks. So that's generally the visual cue for where you want to challenge someone who's coming down the ice. But when they're coming from the sides or the back, it's different. You want to challenge them. We'll get a top-down view so we can actually see it. So I think we get a top-down. Here we go. You really want to make that challenge around about here. So what Drew needs to do is step up. Only that far. You don't want to go further than that, but you want to cut off that so that this player, I'm not sure if that's Jacob or who it was, has got a body in the way with the stick, as opposed to what we let happen. And to be fair, that's a pretty good shot at a pretty tight angle. So, wow, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah,
So
solid.
it's pretty hard to defend against that. But again, just in sort of in terms of general positioning, Dave, you really want to be here because there's no one around you. So you're just taking up that front of the space. Drew should go over here and challenge and just be in the way. With the stick. You can hit the stick. And I think, I'm not sure if we get enough of an angle to see where our center was. After the goal is a bit useless, isn't it? Yeah, see what's happened here. I mean, the shot's gone in, which is good. But if you also have a look at the overall situation, we've got a winger here and a winger here, which is where neither of them should be. And we've got a center who should be either watching that one or watching this one. But you've got to watch both at the same time, and that's the hard part. You might have heard the expression head on a swivel. Has anyone here heard that before?
Yep.
It just means looking around all the time. What's going on? The jargon I used to use when I played other sports was having your radar turned on. So you knew what was going on around you. At this level of hockey, your radars aren't very well developed because you don't have the brain space at the moment to kind of manage it as well. But that'll improve throughout the season. You get better at it as it goes on. And we can tie up these loose players and create less of those opportunities. Make sense?
Yep. So just in that one, so was the center, so the center was supposed to mark both players, or
I'll just get back. It was Joker's goal too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just go back to the video so we can have a look at it. And easy, and Joker's goal too.
Okay.
Right. Sorry, I jumped away from it too quick. All right. So referring to around about here.
Yeah, so would it not be better if like just so if okay, so like assuming that like the wingers still stayed in the same position, and Drew was a little, would not have been better for Drew to come out a little bit more and then like go more towards like challenging, the center comes to one of them and then the right D kind of hangs in the middle, kind of where the center is?
Yep.
Or
Yep, that would be ideal. So
okay.
what I think you're referring to is that our center should be sort of here-ish,
Yeah,
and Dave should be sort of there-ish, and Drew should be here-ish.
yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be perfect. That would be absolutely spot on, and we'd love to be able to do that consistently. You've got to make Drew in this situation has to be mindful of not letting Jacob get behind him.
Sure. Yeah.
Because the puck handler always has the advantage. They can move the puck, they can move different ways, they can do all these tricks, and you're just kind of standing there trying to second guess them in terms of what they're doing until ultimately you know that they want to end up in that slot position because that's where it's easy to score goals, not the easiest or least difficult or whatever you want to call it. But the confusion comes because both of our wingers are down here. And that's a fundamental problem that we're going to continue to work on all through the season, is keeping our wingers out of defence. There's two reasons why we want to do that. Firstly, removal of confusion. And secondly, we want our breakout. If the wingers are down there, we've got no one to pass to when we do get it. Part of that too comes down to a thing which we're going to start to reinforce a lot throughout the rest of the season too, which is trusting your teammates. You've got to trust your teammates to do their job. If you don't, if you try and do everything, like if every now and then you'll get some sort of a superstar who wants to go coast to coast all the time, we discourage that as much as possible, because it's not about scoring the most goals. It's about the whole team improving. And if one player goes down, picks up the puck from one end, skates to the other end and scores goals all day, okay, the team wins, but does the team get better? Right. So you've got to let developing players make mistakes and learn from them. If you don't, they don't make mistakes, they don't learn from them. And at the end of the season, they're no better than they were at the start of the season, which is frustrating for them and frustrating for the player who's been trying to do it all, because, you know, I can do it better than everyone else can. So, well, but in that situation, your role is to help your teammates to get better, not to do everything for them. So it's a cultural thing, which we always see at this stage of the season, a couple of players who are a little bit more faster skaters or whatever than others start to pop their heads up. And that's when we need to, as a coaching group, we need to make sure that those players know that their job is not to go coast to coast and score goals all the time. It's to help their teammates to develop as well. So that come finals time, everyone's better and we're a more competitive team, not just a couple of players who are better. Sometimes it's difficult to get through your head, especially towards the end of a game. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of adrenaline. You want to win, so you want to do everything. No. Everyone comes along and everyone improves. All right, it's not the NHL. We don't have an A line, a B line, and a C line, and we don't have Connor McDavid playing for us, taking all of our salary cap. You all paid the same. You all play the same. Yeah. Bank of mum and dad notwithstanding. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. We've used a lot of time already. I wanted to show you, there's a bunch of other videos. I singled out all of the defensive zone face-offs, and you can look at them on the Facebook group and that sort of stuff, because I don't really want to go through them terribly much, but there were a couple of good ones. There was one really nice play. There was a defensive zone face-off that the Jokers did, and I'm going to crank the volume up and hopefully you can hear it through my microphone, because it won't come through the screen. This was really good for a number of reasons. Let's have a look at it. Well, let's have a look at how the Jokers have set themselves up. It's a classic defensive zone face-off, yeah? All right. How's the defensive zone face-off look?
Pretty solid.
Is it where everyone should be?
Not exactly, but
Exactly, but
pretty close.
it's trending in that direction.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's have a look at what happens. We kind of get ourselves a little bit reorganized, and there we go. I don't know. Can you hear? I'm not sure if you can hear the sound, but listen. That wasn't the one I meant. Anyway, did it work? Sorry, I picked the wrong one. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
That's all good.
Did the Jokers jump on the drop of the puck? No, they stood still. End of the game, everyone's tired. There were some really good ones. Here we go. This is the one. This was a really good one. How's that look?
Actually, pretty good.
Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Much better. So what we want to do here, and this is a minor tweak. The defensive player, so the three players that are lined up across the front of the goal, That's these ones here, right? One of those three is a D. I'm not sure who it is in this particular lineup, but whoever it is, they actually have priority over where they should stand, because their job is to take this player out of the play. Basically remove them. The way you remove them is not by trying to, smash them into the ice or anything, but just stand in front of them and lift their stick up in the air. Can't score like that, can I? So whoever's the D here in this lineup, and again, I'm not quite sure who it is, should be the closest to that player. And the wingers have to accommodate that and move around as necessary to give themselves the lanes that they want. We haven't really worried about that yet at the moment because there's so much else going on and we're not getting that consistently yet anyway, but that's what we want to work towards. Okay, he didn't score, but was that an A-grade scoring opportunity?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's it in action, right? The reason it worked is because watch what happens on the drop of the puck. Bang. Movement straight away. Puck moves, you move. You don't wait. The D on the other side will hesitate because they always do. They're not sure if they should pinch in or start moving backwards. In this case with, oh yeah, I suppose I should get back now. But by that stage, they've got to turn around and they don't have the agility and they're trying to get back in time and you can't because there's someone else skating towards you at flat necker. Right. Who's wearing number 12 there, by the way? 12 for the
Tigers or
Tigers is Chris. Chris, are you here?
Yes.
You go. All right. That banging the stick on the ice to try and distract your opponent. Watch what it actually does. So watch 12 on the back check. So as Chris is coming back, watch what happens when he starts banging his stick on the ice. What did he stop doing?
actively trying to control the gap?
Yeah, he stopped skating. He started coasting. Right, it slows you down. His priority is to get back. Having your stick behind someone who's not even listening to you. There are times when you want to try and distract your opponent and get them to pass you the puck. If you know their name, it's really good to call their name when you're behind them, because that will sometimes burn through. But most of the time, tapping the stick behind someone just slows you down. Don't do it. Silly. I know you see it lots of time, but everyone who's doing it is actually not very productive. It's generally not such a useful thing. All right, it's almost 9 o'clock. I do want to show you. There were some really nice breakaways. Well, the Joker's got a couple of really nice breakaways. And the Tiger's got a couple of really nice breakaways as well. There was a couple of really, really good chance in the last 2 minutes by I think it was Izzy. Izzy got a couple of really good looks. Couldn't quite finish them, but was pretty close on a number of occasions. Let's have a look at the last 45 seconds of the game. This is actually, there was some really good play in this last 45 seconds. Denise and I were thrilled to see it. We spoke about it afterwards and stuff. That was really good. Let's have a look. Oh, so close. What have we got there?
Triangle.
Almost a 1-2-2 forecheck. Almost. Except Matheson's probably taken his job off by kind of overskating. But he's tried to take the boards away. We've got a 1-2-2. And someone's a mile offside. So I want to
You
show you
didn't
this.
hear was my sigh of relief for that offside call.
Well, that's how we kill most of our penalties. I don't know if you've noticed or not. When we play against some of the other teams, just by setting up our box and waiting, they put themselves offside all the time. So you want to run the clock down? Works for me. Go for it, guys. And when you put the puck down the other end, watch how slowly the counter attack starts to happen. So you guys know too what we'll be doing at training on Sunday, isn't it? I think we'll be working on our standard breakout, winger movement, that sort of stuff, just trying to really reinforce that. We'll do that for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then we're going to do some more face-off play, where we'll be again working on that defensive zone face-off and some attacking strategies against it as well. If I have time, I might grab the centers and do some actual individual face-off skill work with them as well, because you don't really get a chance to practice that anywhere else. And we're going to do some containment drills, where you look at trying to have active sticks and contain a player in the corner. And that'll probably be mostly it. But we'll have a look and see what we can squeeze into the hour without trying to do too much. But triangle attack too will be all part of it, and we will definitely be running PK versus penalty versus power play. So we'll be having 5-on-4s, and where you get 60 seconds to try and get an attack. And we might start with the coaches being the D and getting you guys to attack it for probably the first run through, and then putting you guys in and running you guys as the D as well, because we just want you to see how, if we just stand there basically as witches hats, how effective it can be. But yeah, watch what Izzy does here. She's wearing number 7. It's Izzy, isn't it? She doesn't mind me calling her Izzy. Anyway, watch what she does. All right. Just about perfect positioning. Puck bounces out from the shot, gets a shot. It's so close. She would have been so excited if she scored that goal. But yeah, good positioning, skated into the space, just read it really nicely. I think the other one I wanted to show you just very briefly before it goes, before we run out of time. Just want to make sure I've got the right video. Oops, wrong thing. Okay, so, and this is relevant to D, and I'm not picking on Alison here, it's just because she happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, so it's kind of handy. So there's Alison standing there. I think you're trying to do the same thing with that face-off win back to the winger. I think that might be you again, Trent.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen, do you?
Yep.
Well, you know now anyway. You didn't know then, but you know now. Let's watch it happen in real time again. Okay, so you won it, and it created a scoring opportunity for them twice. On that very first face-off, the same thing happened, and then it's happened here again with 2 minutes to go in the first. Don't play it to there. It's a bad place to put it, because if your winger fumbles it, the other part about it though is it catches you D in indecision. So Alison's standing there. She thinks, "Oh, I can go get that." No, not against someone who's moving flat chat. And so she's challenged high and been beaten. In that situation, what the D should do, and I'm not sure that all of you have the skills to do that yet, but as soon as you see that player getting beaten, instead of trying to go up there and challenge it, you should be hightailing it back to here as quick as you can, because they're coming. If you don't, now luckily there, I think for the Joker 64, who's that?
That's Richard.
It's Richard, right? Richard sees this coming and he's got himself back into that position. So he's occupying that space. He's done the right thing. And Trent, you've seen the problem, and now you're barreling back down the middle as well, which is good. Alison got caught. But making the challenge around about the hash marks, that's a pretty good thing. You force Luke wide, right? There's a shot from a bad angle. And you survive, but you're a little bit lucky to get away with it. Right. So from the point of view of centre play, Even though at the moment the skill probably isn't there for your D to do it, you can start thinking about one of two options. Well, actually, it's one of three, really. But the first one is to play the puck back to your D. Right? And then the D's job, as soon as they get it, is to ping it up the boards. So you look at your D, so it's coming to you, fire it up the boards. Because that way your winger can start moving forwards and pick it up on the move. And that's quite successful. The other option, or one of the other options, is to put the puck, trying to work out what side we're on, put the puck there. Okay, so that your winger can pick it up on the move. Again, you're trying to create that forward momentum when your player's moving forward with the puck. The other option that you can do is you can pay it to yourself. Depending on how you're going against the other centre, if you know you can beat them, because sometimes you'll play against other centres that you know you can beat, like you'll get them 80% of the time, and it's just like, oh, I'm having a great day today. That's nice when it happens. Is you can just chip the puck through to there, and then you go get it. Look what you've got: the Royal Road, straight down the middle. And your wingers will follow you in, and you can set up your attacking triangle. You get that first shot, maybe it goes in, maybe it rebounds, whatever. And you create an attacking opportunity for that. So they're probably the three main players you'd want to use as a centre, if you can. But playing back to here is, yeah, don't do that. The other one that's really bad, and I'll show you a video of it. And this is me as a centre making the bad mistake, and this was a shocker. I gave away a goal. Technically, it wasn't really me, but it was because it was my play. Let's see if I can find it for you quickly. Everything's on face off. Here we go. So this is from a game that I was playing a couple of years ago. Rangers v Chiefs. I'm playing for the Rangers. A little bit of faffing around. All right, so I'm a lefty here. So I'm in the white. You can see that I've got a winger here, which is good. That winger on the drop of the puck should crash the net. I've got another winger here ready to try and get a shot away. And my D here, we've looked at each other and I've said, I'm giving you the puck. His job is to, as soon as he gets it, fire it in on the net. Let's see what actually happens. Oh, perfect. How do you like them apples? Watch what happens. Bugger. Right, but what you think is a perfect win is actually a really dangerous play, because what it does is when you've got that set up, right, you know this D here is not going to start moving backwards, right? They're goal hungry. I want to score a goal. Let me encourage you guys. We want you to score goals. He's thinking the puck's coming to me. Sweet, I've got a shot on here. There's no one back to help him out. If it gets past him, we're all on our own, and that's a 1-on-none, and that's exactly what happens. The much better option for me would have been to put the puck that way or that way. They would have both been better choices. I'll show you an example of when you do it that way instead. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one. This is going to look very similar. Once I can find Zoom anyway. Watch this one instead. Very similar setup, isn't it? It's almost exactly the same players on the ice, except it's 4-on-4 because we've both got a mutual penalty. Not that that makes a lot of difference. I just scored the easiest goal in the world. See it, Trent?
Yep.
It's pretty easy. Just put it in the direction of the net and see what happens. They got a lucky rebound. Their goalie fell over, couldn't get back up. The puck just bobbled out in front of me, and all I had to do was just go, hop. I'll take that. That kind of made up for the previous one that I gave away with that stupid pass back to my D that ended up with them scoring a goal. So that'll probably do it for tonight. Do please have a look through those videos and see if you can start identifying anything out of them. There's about 20 or so of them. So please have a good look at them. They will be of value so that you can kind of work out what's going on and see what you can learn from them, because there is a lot of value in that too. So we will see you all on, it is Sunday, isn't it?
It's Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah,
So
Sunday.
we've got the ice from 4 o'clock, so we want you guys changed and ready by 3:30, because we're going to go through all the drills that we're going to do before we get on the ice. If you haven't been to one of our training sessions before, and I think pretty much all of you have, but just on the off chance that you haven't, we remind you of what to do on the ice. We don't tell you what to do on the ice. You've only got an hour, it's precious. We've got 4 training sessions throughout the entire season. It's not very many. We don't want to spend 10 minutes standing around explaining something when you should be doing it. We want to get maximum value out of our ice time so that you get as much out of it as possible. Same time being mindful of not overloading with stuff. So it's mostly still repetition. We will continue to do the same basic things every time. We will start off with a breakout. And then we'll go to probably defensive zone face-offs straight after the breakout, because again, they're things that we want to keep working on. But the breakout will be transitioning into an attack down the other end. So we might probably with the breakout is have the coaches at the other end working as a D for you to play against when you break the puck out, trying to set up the triangle. We'll work on that a little bit as well. So I will run a face-off / center play Zoom session for anyone who's interested. You don't have to be a center, but certainly if you're a center, you do want to do it because it's such a pivotal thing in terms of how we make the game work. And I'll probably run that. I might do that on. Might do that on Saturday night. That might work. Just trying to find a time slot. I'll pop something up in the Facebook group and you know, a little bit of a poll and see what sort of votes I get. It will of course be recorded, so you can look at it afterwards as well. Any other questions or anything anyone wants to bring up?
Nope, think we're all good. Thanks, Carl.
Not a problem. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Thank you for asking questions. And I will see you on Sunday.
See you Sunday, Carl. Bye.
Hooroo.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
See you guys.